Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another Morning Coffee Talks. Hey, it's Friday, and you know what? I'm feeling excellent today. Excellent. I had a wonderful conversation with my father-in-law yesterday. Shout out to him. I appreciate the conversation. And I would say what I took from that conversation is balance and focus, right? Balance and focus. And so it was just a great conversation. We spoke about an hour, matter of fact, about an hour. And sometimes you need that to kind of reset. And so I appreciate it. But I know a lot of you guys at the end of your week, and you know, man, this is a husband code, right? So I feel like I have to make sure, like I said, balance and focus. I have to make sure that, and not on him, but now that we're talking about it, I have to make sure that I'm continuously speaking to the husbands out there, because I feel like a little bit of generalization here lately, but one thing that was really on my mind this morning was the leadership. I feel like I haven't been really touching on leadership a lot, but I need to really specify on why you need a foundation of mind and body to become not only a better husband, but a better leader, right? So for the husbands out there, listen, if you're not building mind and body, you're not just only failing yourself, you're actually gonna fail your family. And let's really dive into it. I wanna really break this thing down. As husbands, you have to know you have to know that we're leaders in our home, right? But if you're not sharp in mind and body, you cannot lead. You can't. And so to lead effectively, we must invest in ourselves, mentally, physically, right? Because one thing about it is a sharp mind and strong body will set the tone on how we're going to handle those challenges that comes to us and our family, right? We have to provide for our family. We have to protect for our family. And so that's for a man, provide and protect. You have to to be able to do that properly, you have to be able to have a strong mind and body, right? A lot of us have gotten very mentally lazy, physically lazy. And so with that, especially when you're mentally lazy, right, you tend to fall into a situation where you're not mentally present, right? And you're not proactive as a husband. You're not on it. You're not sharp, right? You're not on go. And especially when it comes to the physical part, you lack a lot of energy that you need to be able to keep up not only with yourself so you can move a certain way, but to keep up with your wife and your kids. And also a lack of energy, you lose a lot of confidence, because when you're not thriving, you don't have that libido, when you don't have that flow, that masculine energy, you lose your confidence, right? And this is going to lead to less engagement with your family, because when you just tired all the time, you can't speak life into them. You can't breathe life into them, right? Y'all can't just get up and go when you need to, right? You're gonna always question to show up to the different things. Like, let's say if your son or daughter them are in sports or something like band or something like that, right? You may show up there in a body, but you're not gonna show up there mentally, right? So that's very important to make sure that you physically and mentally and locked in and strong, so you can show up to your family the right way. All right. So it's like, how can you expect to support your wife mentally and emotionally if your mind ain't right? Man, this is something that I went through, right? And I had to check myself, because it's like, how can you attempt to help somebody else mentally or emotionally when you can't even do it yourself? How can you protect your family if you can't even protect yourself? Dude, if you're taking your wife on a date and something pop off and you're not in shape, and again, I always make sure I specify this. We're not talking about bodybuilding. We're not talking about looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. We talking about, can you move some furniture around if something pop off, right? Can you get up out of there, right? Without losing your breath, can you even run? This is very important. This is very important. Really think about that. All right. Here's the thing, right? You have to invest in your mind, right, and body. And this is essential for becoming the best husband you can be. When we talk about the mind, and I'll give you guys like different examples. Like I read, right, a lot now. My goal is to, I said this in one of my videos, my goal is to at least do a book a month. At least, like bare minimum, right? That's 12 books a year. And that's very doable. Again, we don't have to read, whatever you want to read. I personally say read things that can really invest in your mind. There's a lot of different skill books out there, self-help books. But if you want to read a Harry Potter book, but it's about reading, because then you learn about new words. You learn about how to put connections. It's keeping your mind sharp, because then you have to follow a story, helps your focus. You learn the different characters. Like whatever you want to read, but read. But again, my opinion on that, or my advice on that, would be read something that you can actually use. And sometimes it's fine to read, other things too, but read, man. You have to develop your mind. Also, listen to those podcasts, right? You got something like Audible out there. Maybe you're not really a book reader, but you can listen to books as you at your job. Maybe you're driving to somewhere. You can still use Audible. I think reading the paper is better with Mind Connection, but it works too. You can still get what you need. I've listened to Audible or listen to certain podcasts that actually invest in you. All right? Because here's the other thing about that. When you start to develop your own mind, you develop emotional intelligence. And this is going to help you better understand your wife's needs. It's going to build mental discipline. That way you can handle stress and you can lead with clarity. All right? And this is something that happened to me when I really started to clear all the smoke out. Meaning, I told you guys, I don't really listen to rap music at all, really. I hear like if I'm at the gym or something like that, or, you sitting next to somebody in a car, they bumping theirs. Every once in a while, if you just need some background music or something like that, cool. That's just me. But if you want to listen to that, just understand how that affects you. But for me, once I started to listen to the right information, it started to, help me build mental discipline and clarity, because then it gave me a message of self-development, right? Then it gave me a message of how to deal with my emotions intelligently. That way I can better understand my wife's needs. All right. On to the body. And it dramatically overnight improved my energy and my stamina. Right. It allowed me, the body helped my mind. So it allowed me to start to be present. Right. It allowed me to be more active with my wife. I remember my wife took us to Helen, Georgia. Right. We went on an obstacle course. I ain't did it in a long time. We climbing ropes, crawling through things and, hiking. And I'm keeping up now, right? And you can build such a bond with that when you look strong, when you feel strong in your body, right? You bring a certain presence of masculinity to other men who might be a threat. I'm not saying, everybody out there looking to do harm. However, you're going to be the last person on their list they looking to challenge, right? You have to bring a certain aura, but you have to build the body. And in turn, it's going to build the mind. All right. So I would say last point on that is it creates a ripple effect. When you're sharp mentally and strong physically, right? Then you start to understand, hey, my wife starts to feel supported, right? Your kids start looking up to you. Your household starts to thrive. I told you guys, I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews. When I'm around them, they look up to me, right? I get respect, right? Because they know I'm on it. When I say, and also when I say I'm gonna do things, I do it. I follow through. When I was fat and lazy, I didn't follow through with things. Not with them. I still made sure I did. But even with myself, I started having broken promises with myself. I started having broken promises to my wife, right? And now, because I built myself mentally and physically, those things out the window because I have the energy and stamina and the mental clarity to follow through, right? So again, commit to daily learning, man. Read them books, listen to podcasts, take a course. I told you guys, I do Toastmasters. You can do something else on leadership, right? You can find something else on how to better your marriage, a self-improvement, all right? Practice emotional control. Like one thing I used to do, man, if I felt I was being attacked, if at work or somebody in the street, and I don't mean always physically attacked, but like it could be just through work. You know how work do. It's always challenges, right? And so, when you feel like you're catching a blame, man, I used to react this crazy way, but I had to start pausing and sleeping on things or just thinking because my responses weren't getting me the results I was looking for. And so that's me now. I'm better consciously to be able to pause, reflect on what the information is being sent my way, and then respond accordingly, right? But before, oh nah. Before, I either be down or I feel angry and feel the attack and feel like I need to attack back, right? And that's just the mindset part of it, the body, right? I developed a fitness routine, and it's important, right? Listen, we all have lives to live. Some of us have a lot of obligations. But again, it's not always about, I love going to the gym because it's just what I do, but it's always other things. You can go out, some people like running, right? Some people may do basketball, like, they ain't in the NBA, but, there's different groups and teams out there, kickball, stuff. Just stay active, man. Get out there, right? Get out there. But I just like weightlifting as a normal routine because it just does something to your mind when you lifting hard weight, right? You stressing the body in a positive way. Then you start to deal with stress outside of life easier. Because man, if I'm pushing, I'm squatting 300 and some pounds, or I'm pushing, 2-3 plates on a bench, bro, that's crazy stress on your body, but it's good stress, right? So, having that, like I said, proper fitness routine or just active routine, and also eating right, man. We all at this point should know that certain foods affect us in a certain way, right? And so we just have to be conscious to make the right choices every day, to put the right fuel and nutrition in our body. Food is just energy. It's just fuel for our body. That's all it is. All right. So your family will thank you because if you're feeding them the right way as well, then it's just a better mind state for them as well. They'll feel better. They'll feel rested. They won't feel sluggish and things of that nature. Right. So just lead by example, man. Take the mantle, take the wheel of the ship and steer it where you want to go. So, just show your family that, or what it means to just prioritize growth. Speak to them about your goals, especially to your wife, and involve her in the journey, man. My wife is heavily involved. We always have conversations, just, hey, where you at? And, what is it looking like? Where are we going with it? Right? And it's just healthy. Create healthy habits for yourself. And I think your household will fall in line. And they'll benefit from it, from your leadership, man. They'll benefit from it. All right. So let me end with this by saying, I challenge you guys. All right. Just again, know that husbands, it starts with you. You cannot expect to lead someone or to lead a strong household if you're not strong yourself. That's just what it is. And again, we're not talking about bodybuilding as far as like Mr. Olympia, but you got to look like you can move some furniture around, man. You have to bring a masculine aura. You cannot look weak. That's really what it is. You just can't look weak, right? And you don't want to be weak either, right? So commit to that. Commit to building that mind and body. And I think, again, your family will be happy. It rewards you. towards your wife and things of that nature. So anyway, drop a comment below. Tell me what you think about the message. Subscribe to the Husband Code if it's your first time. If you've been watching for a while, subscribe. And if you got any value from this video, hit the like button. And also, hit that notification bell, because again, we're dropping videos like this every single day. And until next time, I appreciate you guys. Much love. And I'll see y'all. Happy Friday. Peace.